Here's a potato. Bear with me, this gets weird fast. This potato weighs 100 kilograms. A monster potato. Just go with it. And it is 99% water. Almost pure water, held together by the thinnest bit of actual potato. We leave it out in the sun. It sits there. It dries a little. Not a lot. Just enough that a chemist with a clipboard would now write down 98% water. That's it. That's the whole change. 99% water down to 98. 1 percentage point of moisture gone into the warm air. So here's my question, and I want you to feel your gut answer it before I say another word. After losing that single point of water, how much does the potato weigh now? Your gut said, basically the same, right? 99 and 98 is one little step. So the potato lost a sliver of water and now weighs, what, 99 kilograms? Maybe 98 if you're being generous? That feels obviously correct. 1% changed, so about 1% of the weight left. Clean, linear, the way percentages are supposed to behave. Hold that number in your head, the one your gut just handed you. Because the real answer is so far from it that when people first see it, they assume there's a trick, a lie, a missing zero somewhere. There isn't. The arithmetic is airtight, and it's about to do something that should feel illegal. To see what really happens, we have to stop staring at the whole potato and split it into its two honest ingredients. There's the water, and there's the actual potato, the dry stuff. The starch, the fiber, the real food. Call it the dry part. Our potato is 100 kilos and 99% water. So the water weighs 99 kilograms. And the dry part? Everything that isn't water, that's the last 1%. 1 single kilogram. That tiny amber sliver at the bottom. Now here's the most important sentence in this whole video, so I'm going to say it slowly. When the potato dries in the sun, only water leaves. Water evaporates. The dry part, that 1 kilogram of actual potato, does not go anywhere. It can't. It's not water. The sun can't boil off starch. So whatever happens next, lock this in. The dry part stays exactly 1 kilogram. Before, during, after. 1 kilogram. It is the one thing in this entire problem that never, ever changes. Okay, pause the video here and actually commit to a number. Out loud, ideally. Here's everything you need and nothing you don't. The dry part is 1 kilogram. It always was. It always will be. It did not change. The dried potato is now 98% water, which means the dry part is now the other 2% of whatever it weighs. So, 1 kilogram of dry potato is now 2% of the total. What does the total weigh? Don't reach for the 100. Reach for the 1 kilogram. That's the number that's actually telling the truth. Lock in your guess. Then let's watch it happen. Watch the dry part. That 1 kilogram. Keep your eye on it, because it's the only thing that stayed put. At the start, 1 kilogram was 1% of the potato. 1 out of 100. The sliver was tiny. Now the potato is 98% water, so the dry part is 2% of it. The very same 1 kilogram has to be 2% of a new total. Here's the move. 1% became 2%. The dry part share of the potato didn't creep up by a point. It doubled. And if a fixed 1 kilogram now has to be twice as big a slice of the whole, then the whole has to be half as big. There's no other way for 1 kilogram to fill 2% instead of 1. 1 kilogram at 2% means the total weighs 50 kilograms. 50. The 100-kilogram potato lost 1 percentage point of water and is now 50 kilograms. Half. Gone. And not a single gram of actual potato ever left. So how did one little point swallow 50 kilograms? Because you were reading the wrong number. We all were. You watch the water, and from the water's side, almost nothing happened. 99 down to 98, a lazy 1-point drop. Your go was right about that part. But the water is the giant. When you nudge a giant by 1%, that 1% is enormous in absolute terms. It's a kilogram leaving for every, well, it's a lot of water. Meanwhile, the honest number, the dry part, didn't drop by a point. It doubled. 1% to 2% is a 1-point change on paper, but it's a 2 times change in reality. And that small fixed sliver is the thing the whole weight is anchored to. The trap is that we instinctively read the percentage from the big side, the water, where everything looks calm. The truth was hiding on the small side, the part that stayed the same size while its share of the total doubled. And that's the thing you actually get to keep from Talking Potato. Whenever there's a small fixed part hiding inside a big total, read the percentage from the small side. That's the only side that's telling you the truth, because that's the side that's actually changing. It's the same shape every time. A claim moves a big percentage by a hair, down just 1 point, only a couple percent, and you relax. But flip it over and look at the little fixed part underneath, and you'll catch it quietly doubling. You'll see it in food and low water or low fat claims, where the small part is the part you actually care about. You'll see it in a budget, where a tiny fixed cost balloons into a huge share the moment the big number shrinks. Anywhere a giant and a sliver share one total, the sliver is where the story really lives. So the next time something brags that it only changed by 1 little point, ask the better question. 1 point of which side? Because a potato just lost half its weight to a single percent, and now you're the kind of person who saw it coming. Tell me where you've been fooled by the big side, the percentage that looked harmless and wasn't. I'll read every one.